Let's go to a call here. Let's go to Nick from Mississippi, first time caller.
Hello, hello, Clay. Good to be with you. Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you. What's up?
We've talked before, but this is my first time calling into your show. Love the show. Listen a
Is this
lot.
Nick
I'm a
from
former.
Twitter? Nick from Twitter?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Nick. Yeah. We do talk. What's up?
I was just calling just to place some historical perspective to what we're dealing with, and President Biden understands this, and this is why he's handling Joe Manchin with kid gloves. I worked on the Hill some years ago in the Senate Majority Leader's office under then Senate Majority Leader Trenton Lott, and I recall learning a lesson the tough way then, that having the majority, even when you have a split Senate as it is still better than being in the minority. And overnight, my boss then went from being Senate Majority Leader to Senate Minority Leader because Senator Jim Jeffords of Vermont felt that he was being disrespected, and he decided to switch. And with that one flip, the majority leadership went from Republicans to Democrats. And so Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden learned that lesson, and that's why they're handling this with kid gloves. I think you just got to understand that Joe Manchin is the best Democrat you're going to get out of West Virginia and concentrate on winning more seats. But I wanted to say this. All hope is not lost, Clay. I'm sure your audience is probably familiar with the budget reconciliation process.
Yes.
There are opportunities, and I think there may be one or two more opportunities this year where Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer can put together some proposals in a bill as long as it's tied to the budget in some way, shape, or form, and it would only require 51 votes. You can't do that if you're in the minority. You can do that in the majority. And so I would urge folks to concentrate and focus on trying to get those things done this year and next year through budget reconciliation. You get to start all over next year with budget reconciliation bills, and focus that way instead of hammering Joe Manchin, because he's not the only Democrat. There are others in the caucus who are keeping their heads down and being quiet. But
wait, Nick, brother, hold on one second, because you brought up a really good point that I don't think I've thought of in this way. So you're telling us, this is a really interesting point. Let's make it really, really plain. You're saying that if Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden worked Joe Manchin's nerves too much, all he'd have to say is, F y'all, I'm going to be Republican. And then boom, we have Mitch McConnell back again. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. All he
that
has
is
to do
a
is
good
say,
point.
Screw you. All
good
of the
point.
committee chairmanships flipped. All of the legislation that can be considered on the floor, that goes to Mitch McConnell's. So there are a lot of things that you got to keep in mind.
I did not think about that.
How the Senate works and how power works in the Senate. You're not just giving up the top spot. You're giving up a lot of other areas, a lot of power if you piss Joe Manchin off.
That is a very okay. One more thing before you go, Nick. That said, to my point, if you listen to the show, you know what I've been saying to folks who've been saying, do something. They've been saying, do something, do it. You know, go after him, go after Kristen Sinema. My thing is, I don't know what we can do. So it sounds like your solution is we have to hope something can be done with reconciliation. Is that, do you feel the way that I feel, that there's not much we can do with him or Kristen Sinema or the five others?
In fact, you just praised Joe and Kristen Sinema because you need them for that majority leadership. Keep in mind, if those guys weren't there, it would probably be a Republican there. They're the best Democrats you're going to get out of those red states. And, you know, Joe Manchin doesn't represent Massachusetts. He represents West Virginia. And you're not going to get a better Democrat out of that state than Joe Manchin.
Well, that's why we need DC statehood, to be honest with you. Nick, didn't you work on was it Mike Espy's campaign?
I volunteered and helped out Mike. Mike is my son's uncle, so he's family, and we could not get him in there. Again, it's going to take a lot more folks being involved to get there. I think Texas is closer to being a Georgia than Mississippi is, and so we've got a long way to go.
Our two first black senators in Mississippi, Nick. I'm sure you know Hiram Revels and Blanche Bruce.
Absolutely. Hiram Revels, who also served as our Secretary of State, went on to be president of Alcorn State University. But
and he was appointed. He wasn't elected. He was appointed. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yes, during that time, the state legislature appointed the representatives to the U.S. Senate.
But Nick, don't you and I, we've debated a bit on Twitter about Abraham Lincoln. Don't you love Abraham Lincoln? You're like really into Abraham Lincoln, aren't you?
You got to bring that up, Clay. You got to bring that up. Clay.
You love Abraham Lincoln. I do not.
I'm an Abraham Lincoln fan. I do understand that he had a lot of shortcomings as well, but when progress is being made, I like to applaud it, and he was willing to get on the right track, and so I appreciate that.
I think he was forced into glory, as Dr. Lerone Bennett Jr. said. Nick, brother,
keep in mind, the Republican Party was founded as the Abolitionist Party.
Oh, yeah, they were. I love my man Thaddeus Stevens, who was calling out Abraham Lincoln. So I give more credit to Thaddeus Stevens than Abraham Lincoln. But I see I get it, but he was forced into glory. And the reason why slavery ended was because of us, was because of the nearly 200,000 black folks who fought in the Civil War. That's what I would say. But Nick, final comment. Go ahead, brother.
I was just going to say, enjoyed talking to you. We've got to keep fighting, Clay. We got to keep fighting. Don't give up hope. But keep in mind, those budget reconciliation bills are opportunities for President Biden to get through some of his agenda, and I think we stick to that until you get more folks in there to partner with him. Gotcha. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Yeah, Alan, that's a good point. I did not even think about that stunt. That changes the game. If you work him too much, he may say F y'all, and they would love it. Hell, Republicans could be plotting now to try and get Joe Manchin to become a Republican. Come on over to the other side. Come on over.
He didn't turn over the leadership until 2 months into the presidency anyway.
Exactly. Mitch McConnell didn't. Damn.